You're listening to Hotep Ish with your intelligent ish talk, intelligent shit talk, where we balance the profound with feelings at the door.
What up, y'all? We are here. Thank y'all for joining. Live from the computer. And no, I found my web camera. No, I've been through a move. But since I moved, I done been out of town damn near 2 to 3 weeks that I moved. So shit still is unpacked. He the motherfucking king. What's up, y'all? Let me turn the music down. Listen to this real quick, and then we'll get started.
On beat, Black History commercial, take 1,
and here comes the 2 to the 3 and 4.
Hold up. Celebrate our warriors and scholars. Black history on a t-shirt. Black people don't owe anybody anything but an ass whooping. Yep. Mothers of the movement, our scholars. Instead of wearing a sports jersey with someone else's name on your back, celebrate our leader's name on your chest.
Say it with your chest.
Get yours now at hotepish.com/shop. Free shipping on all orders over $75. Also, get your Black American Music Family Tree at incenseandashtrays.com/shop. 400 years of music created here in North.
What in the hell just happened? Did it freeze on y'all end or did it freeze on my end? I'm having eCam. I'm having issues, motherfucker. Right before I started, I was like, check for updates. It was like, nah, no updates. I'm like, why is eCam tripping? So look, I probably should have did this on my porch because my goddamn eCam is tripping. But the reason why I wanted to do it on the computer today is because I want to play some clips for y'all. So bear with me. If it freezes, that is some shit going on with my computer that I ain't figured out since I got back in town. My shit was running perfect before I left. Now it's some bullshit. Come on, Apple and eCam. Anyway, go to DewanB.com for all that shit. The Black American Music Family Tree, that's on sale right now, 10% off all month. You don't have to type in any special product code. But if you go to DewanB.com, everything related to the Black American Music Family Tree is 10% off. The posters, the hoodies, the t-shirts, the sweaters, all of that stuff. Because June is Black American Music Month. Yes, it is. And it ties into what we're talking about today. The Black identity wars that I've been seeing waged online and on TV. We're going to get into that. But June is Black American Music Month, where we take pride in and celebrate all of the wonderful accomplishments of Black artists and the worldwide influence of the Black American art form known as music. So June is our Pride Month. We take pride in our world cultural and musical influence. So happy Pride Month to everybody. Pride in Black American music history. What's up, chat room? What's up? All right. So if it freezes on y'all, my shit tripping. Just letting y'all know. All right. I don't know what the hell going on. If I knew it was this bad, I just would have taken the pictures. I mean, that's what did the shit on my porch, smoking a blunt. Anyway, I'm bringing this up because right now in this 7 of Hearts year, boundaries are being crossed and things are being questioned, and there's a lot of questioning going on regarding people's identity. And I think it's a good thing overall. You know what I mean? I like to just see things from the physical point of view and also the spiritual point of view. I like checking out both angles. You know what I mean? So we're going to talk about some stuff that's been going on. Oh, and also, if you signed up for my cardiology class, if you want if you still want to join the class next Sunday, there are 2 slots available. There are still 2 slots left for Sunday. If you want to join and learn how to read playing cards with a screenshot of your Cash App, just to make sure I sent you a link to everything. Because if you haven't, especially if you haven't gotten a link to the class, everyone who's paid their money should have gotten a link to the class on Saturday or Sunday. So if you haven't gotten the link to the class, please, please, please email me, info@breakthroughcards or info@dewanb.com, either one. Shit. They go to the same goddamn inbox. So yeah. So y'all said I'm Philip Washington, you said I'm choppy? No sound? What's going on, chat room? Let me know if everything is good. Because on my end, shit's good right now. Let me know, chat room, what's going on. Let me know what's going on. Ah, shit. Okay. You good now? All right. Making sure. Cause that's nothing with this buffering shit, man. I'm on a landline. I make sure to bring when I'm on my computer to be on the landline. Because I want to make sure that y'all hear me loud and clear. All right, cool. We here. Oh, no background sound? Okay, let me go ahead. You're right, no background sound. Let me play that. There we go. Now we got some background sound. Yeah, after this is over, I gotta check my computer. I don't know what's going on. The shit was perfectly fine before I went off to Lake Tahoe. So there is a Black identity crisis going on around the diaspora. And it's a lot of people fighting over and not being clear on who's Black and who's not. Let's start this off from a fair point of view. The reason why there's so much confusion over who's Black and who's not is because the white supremacists who came up with these classifications made it that way. So let's always, like Nina Fuller said, start with the usual suspects. People aren't confused because they're just dumb. People are confused because purposeful confusion is sent out amongst us. And because confusion is sent out purposefully, people are confused. So in order to clear up any confusion, let's break it down. First of all, what is Black? Black is a construct created by the white supremacists. You know you not really black, brother. That's just a social construct. Hold on there, Abdul Muhammad. Yes, it is a social construct, but it's a social construct that determines how the wealth is distributed amongst the nation. It's a social construct that determines if you get any resources or not out of the taxes that you're already paying. It classifies you in the police pool, not only when the police pulls you over, but when you're admitted to college, and basically anything that you have in your day-to-day life. It's a barrier. It is something that is put in your way by the people who control the levers of society. So black is, even though it's a construct, it is an official thing. It is. Yes, when you say it's just a crayon, that's just you being, how can I say this? Not intelligent. Because any thinker knows that in every word, most words have multiple definitions. Yes, black is a crayon. That's definitely true. But it also determines what neighborhood your black ass live in. You dig what I'm saying? So when we're talking about something that I have to fill out on the census, it's an official, legally binding classification. It's on my passport. It's on my driver's license. It's not just a crayon. It's a classification of a group of people who are classified as black by the Anglo-Saxon white supremacists who run the nation, just like white. And the classifications change. And before people go around talking about some, because this is what I hear a lot, black people, we the only ones who fight over this stuff. Shut up. It changes up who they classify as white. If you're talking about the 1920s, Latinos were classified as white. And then they weren't. At the same time, Latinos were once classified as white. Irish were not. People of Irish descent were not officially classified as white until 1977. Because quiet is kept, the Irish have all that Negro blood from the original Celtics that they took over with their diseases. Ireland, England, that's why they're called Irish, English. The islands was black at one point. So was Germany. So was all of Europe. White supremacists are not indigenous to any locale on the planet outside of the Caucasoid Mountains. That's why they're called Caucasians. They left Europe in 1492 and started ransacking the world. And they have these, and they play these games with each other. You know what I mean? And so when the Greeks, the Italians came over to America in the late 1800s, early 1900s, they were not classified as white. They were considered ethnics, others. And they went through a hazing process. And the white supremacists beat whiteness and they bullied them until they've been bullied enough, and then later on got accepted into whiteness. White supremacy is a system that was beat, murdered, and torched into white people. Black people. When we deal with the white supremacists, we got to understand that everything that they do on us, they've done to themselves for thousands of years first, okay? So when whiteness was getting beat into them in the late 1600s, according to legal records, you know, when you're dealing with the Salem witch hunts, those were white women that were messing around with the Negro black witches and learning that magic. White folks burned those white women for rubbing elbows with Negro witches. White women were burned for having sex with black men. That's where the whole thing, he raped me, came from. It's a survival tool, because if the white woman doesn't yell rape, she has to deal with abuse, extreme abuse from her white husband, her white man, her white son, her white brothers, grandparents. So white supremacy is a brutal system that was beat into white people. And it's either you get on code or you get beat the fuck up. That's how white supremacy works within white society. White people don't give passes. The reason why white people don't, when they come around and they act like us, they're called nigger lovers. When they marry a black person, that's a step down to them. They have a full-on code of what it takes to be white. And if you don't do these, here's another code of whiteness. Another code of whiteness is you forget where you come from. That's why they don't identify as Italian, as Greek, as German. They identify as white. Because when they hold on to their ethnic roots, okay, they allow them to bring over some pizza and lasagna, certain dishes, some Danish treats. They allow you to bring over your food if it's good enough. But outside of your food, you got to let that old country, that's why they call Europe the old country. Listen how they talk. The old country, when they talk about it. They have to let Europe go in order to be white. There's a strong hazing process and constant refinement of whiteness. Why am I saying all this? I'm saying this to say that I'm tired. Dude, it's purposeful confusion. Niggas always want to play the victim. No, nigga, no, this is something that we're fighting about, yes. Yes, and it's something that needs to be cleared up. Because blackness, whiteness, it is a lie. So as long as this lie exists in a hardcore legal social construct, there is going to be confusion. That's the purpose, dummy. The purpose is to be confusing. So get off that Negro ignorant ass soapbox. We the only ones. Shut up. God. So with that being said, there's a black identity war going on right now. And it's happening, funny enough, from people across the diaspora. Both the Caribbean, Africa. A lot of stuff about who's black and who's not. A lot of perpetrating blackness while shitting on black people. I'm talking about, so today, as an example, I'm going to play some video of an exchange between Josaline Hernendez and Amber Rose. Now, full disclosure, this time last week, I had no clue who the fuck Josaline Hernendez was. I promise you. Whatever show she's on, I don't watch. I had no clue who her name had never come across my plate from all them nice titties that was popped out. For those of you who don't know, Josaline Hernendez got in a fight with one of her other reality stars yesterday in the back of the Floyd Mayweather fight, and she choked that broad out. Man, that fight was great. It was way more exciting than the Floyd Mayweather fight, and any straight man can appreciate some titties popping out in the fight. I'm sorry, ladies. This is man talk right now. So, fellas, I encourage you to go and look up that fight. It's all over you. It's all over Twitter. That's where I saw it. I saw it on Twitter. But that was the third time I saw her name pop up. The first two times were around issues of race. One was on a Drink Champs interview. I saw a clip from her on Drink Champs, and I want to pull it up, but the way my fucking computer's been freezing, I don't know if it seems to be a war going on in the diaspora. It seems to be a war going on. Because for all my life, they've been telling us that they ain't black. We ain't black. Or in the case of Busta Rhymes, fake like they being black, and then the minute he get his weight up, turn around and be like, I'm really Jamaican. We're used to them, those of us who grew up in the 80s and the 90s. Those of you who grew up in New York, y'all know. See, in LA, you know, we know too, but it's a little different here in LA because the Belizeans out here, they would claim Belizean and black. The Belizeans out here in LA wouldn't necessarily say I'm not black. They would say that they're Belizean, but they wouldn't come out and be like, I'm not black. We dealt with that shit when the Africans started coming in the 80s. And you see, what's up, Mbutu? The penny loafers on. What up, bruh? And nigga Mbutu got penny loafers on with a Chuck E. Cheese token in them. We didn't know that. Black American culture, we haze, we crack jokes. If we don't crack jokes on you, I mean we don't fuck with you. If we fuck with you, we crack jokes on you. So, but at the time in the 80s, we didn't know y'all were so sensitive. In the 90s, we didn't know y'all still be carrying that shit. I appreciate the cash app, Darian. We didn't know y'all still be carrying that shit 20 and 30 years later. We just like cracking jokes. It was never personal, you know? But like when we would get Jamaicans that would come to the school, we'd be like, yo. Or like I remember this one brother, his name was Francois. I think he was Haitian. And he came to school with some white jeans on. And loafers. And like we like, what the fuck is you doing in white jeans, homie? Don't nobody wear white jeans and loafers. We like, come on now. Oh, shit keep freezing. We like, come on now. Like, but that wasn't because you were from the Caribbean. That's because you dress corny. I know. Look, I'll never forget one day I went to school. This is like 1989. This is right before a hammer got popular. It's like 88, 89. This is right before Can't Touch This came out. I remember because when Can't Touch This came out, that's when them hammer pants, when MC Hammer started doing a typewriter, that's when baggy pants came in. Before, for those of you who are young, before Can't Touch This came out, cats wasn't really wearing baggy clothes like that. You know, they were loosening up. Early 80s shit was skin tight in the early 80s and the 70s. By the time you get to the late 80s, it's not as skin tight as the early 80s, but it's not baggy yet. I'll never forget, I came to school one day in some sweats, you know, that my mom got that was too big. Because I was growing fast when I was a kid. I told you, I was a big ass kid. I was never one of them little in shape, six pack having motherfuckers. Nah, I've been around my whole goddamn life. So my mom would get this time, because I was growing so fast, she got my clothes a little too big. And so I had on a sweatsuit that was baggy as fuck. And it was windy. It was one of those windy LA days. I mean, I'm at Coliseum Elementary, King Boulevard and Coliseum, right outside the jungles. I'm walking to class. Everybody clowning the fuck out of me for my baggy ass sweatsuit. Calling me, saying I'm dressed like a clown because that's how clowns dress. Only Can't Touch This hadn't come out yet. So it wasn't cool to be baggy. My music hit me so hard, make me say, oh my, when that, see, if I wore that a few months later, when Can't Touch This came out, I'd have been good. But they clowned the fuck out of me. Because I wasn't dressed rules. If your mama can't afford it, because my mom and my dad worked, they weren't on the county, so they couldn't. I only got new clothes at the beginning of school, and I may get some new clothes second semester, a couple new shirts. I only got new clothes in September. I wasn't like you fashion forward niggas. I was never the best dresser. Never really cared to be the best dresser. I don't give a fuck about clothes. As long as my shit is neat, clean, and I don't look like a bumbling idiot, I'm good. But you got to be neat and clean. And if you didn't have nothing that was going to be represent the hustling black kid like I was, because y'all always talk about how hard y'all work, how hard we work. Nigga, I remember being, when I had the baggy ass hammer pants, before pre-hammer pants, nigga, I washed cars on the block so I can get something that fit better. Because I wasn't going to get clowned no more. So I walked up and down where I live. See, when you black, the clowning make you hustle a little harder. It don't define you. You don't get knocked on your ass. No, nigga, you just hustle a little bit harder. That's the clown they had me doing when I was 8. God damn it. Yeah, G Mars, I would get a re-up and close around Christmas time. Yeah. So this is what went on. This is what goes on. All right. So now that black people, black Americans specifically, are forewalling our culture, claiming our music, claiming our heritage, claiming our history. You dig what I'm saying? You dig what I'm saying? So it's starting to play out now in the media. So I'm going to start off. I don't want to play the video of this because I've been getting copyright strikes lately. But I'm going to play the audio of Amber Rose, of an exchange between Amber Rose and Josaline Hernendez. Let me see here. Let me see here. Here we go. Let me y'all couldn't hear that. Let me do that. This will, I'm telling y'all right now, this ain't YouTube. This is my fucking computer. All right. So this ain't, I'm not gonna blame YouTube this time. I'm gonna cover it up. Because I don't want a copyright strike. But I want y'all to hear some of the things that they're talking about. We're gonna discuss this.
I apologize. I didn't mean to do that.
I appreciate that.
I consider you a black person like myself.
She went on black person her.
If you feel like I singled you out, I apologize. I didn't mean to do that.
I appreciate that.
I consider you a black person like myself. A lot of people do that to me. They're like, okay, she's Spanish, she's not black.
Josaline, stop identifying me. Let me.
That's Josaline talking to Amber Rose. And this is Amber Rose responding.
Identify myself and then let you know what that is. When you say,
I don't know what it is with Amber Rose, but she explains that she has a white father, and she thinks that her white father others her. She doesn't understand American social construct. See, the social construct in America is no matter what your daddy look like, if you got that black blood in you, you black. And this is Josaline Hernendez, a Puerto Rican woman who understands this. And again, we're going to talk about this from multiple angles, okay? So I'm using the pejorative term black right now because in America, although Josaline is Puerto Rican and Amber Rose is from whatever the fuck the island is over off Africa. I keep forgetting the name, the island she's from. In the United States of America, they're considered Latin, but they're also considered black, by the face. Even though their paperwork may say their paperwork and put white on their ID. And I'm pretty sure Amber Rose probably has white on her ID. They can't play these games. So this is, Cape Verde is where she's from. This is Josaline Hernendez sort of telling Amber Rose where she's at.
look at me.
It's a joke. It was just there. I just seen you. I just turned around and look at that. Stop being so sensitive because you and I are very cool. So for you to do
Yeah, but
that,
it's not about being sensitive.
Well, you are being sensitive.
No, but if you're not a mixer.
You're not white though. You're black.
My father is white though.
Okay, but to me, your mother's.
But that's not
black.
about you. It's
Okay,
about
but
me.
It is about me when I feel like saying what the fuck I want to say. You can't check me on that. And if you go.
To me, I'm white. I'm white. Amber Rose really thinks she's white. So it keeps going.
Oh, check me, then check me.
Okay, I checked you. I'm checking you now.
But you not, because I don't give a fuck about how you feel.
Well, I don't give a fuck either way. I'm serious. That's the whole
You
point.
mix like me. You mix like, you know what's your problem? Your problem is that you really want to be a white girl.
Ooh. She said, your problem Your problem is. I like listening to Latinos argue. Your problem is. They don't say is, they say is. But she's right. Amber Rose thinks she's white. So what you have here is in the diaspora, you're starting to see more internal conflicts pop out over who's black and who's not. While at the same time, us Black Americans, a lot of us are saying, hey, you stay over there, we stay over here. Some of us are saying we're all Pan-Africanism. So there's a diaspora war within Black America. You got your Pan-Africanists who are saying, hey, we're all one within the diaspora. And then you got other factions of Black America saying, hey, no, we tried that shit. You niggas stay over there. We'll stay over here. So there's a lot of confusion going on. Again, 7 of hearts here. 7, I told y'all before when I read the year on my cards. This has been for so long. Who we really are, all of us, that shit's coming out. And a lot of us Black Americans, we really started to see that we are from here. Versus 10 years ago, we were saying we're African. And all of us on the planet are African at some point in our history. Again, this is not a disrespect to Africa, but we Black Americans, we created our own thing here, okay? And we're starting to really understand that. And because we're starting to understand that and coalesce around our culture, you're starting to see ripple effects in how that's playing out across really fight.
See, I was growing up, I chose to be Black. I was born in Puerto Rico, a Spanish-speaking place, so I'm a Black Hispanic. But Amber, she don't know how to behave in Black places or in white places. She feel like she got to cater to each of them. But I damn sure know that she doesn't cater to nothing Black.
That's what y'all was saying in the chat room earlier, huh? Amber Rose don't cater to nothing Black. And she got called out. So what we have right now, we're having interesting times right now. And these times are very interesting. There's a lot going on. Like, and we're getting these kind of, this kind of stuff is what's going on. Someone on Twitter tagged me in this video. It's a short one. But these are the kind of things, this here, for those of you confused why Black Americans are starting to, and say, you know what, we doing our own thing over here. It's because of comments like this. Some people wearing our uniform that look like us speaking against our best interests. Listen to this. And why is this happening, man? Ever since I moved, man, and I'm paying, and yes, I'm connected to a landline. I connect my computer to a landline. I don't know what the fuck going on. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Maybe if I close this one over here. Okay, what the fuck going on? Let's go to this one then. Let's see if this video plays. Listen to what these dickheads are talking about here. They both kind of saying the same things. Listen to this.
American beef. Do you guys feel like it's a beef?
I don't feel like it's no beef, but I do feel like it's beef with your people.
I wouldn't say it's beef, but it's like hate. I wouldn't say no beef because motherfuckers want to be.
Saying when it comes to the issues of race. This is why people are saying what they're saying. Look at how they're dressed. They're not, this is how Black Americans dress. Listen to the lingo, the words they're using, y'all. They're not speaking in the tone of their ancestor. Because if you're from the Caribbean, if you're from Jamaica, you speak English in Jamaica too. A lot of the diaspora speaks English at home. But you're not speaking in that. You're speaking the way Black Americans speak English. And this kind of stuff is insulting.
I ain't no beef, man. We all one. We all one. Peace, love.
Got you. So what you feel the beef is, V? Personally.
Ain't no beef.
I feel like
V.
Oh,
Go.
I'm sorry.
You can't do that.
I'm B, you V. Okay, go ahead.
When you say B, it sound V. Because it's only hate coming from the other side. Feel me? Beefing. Because beef is when two parties are, you feel me, beef
Black American lingo is being used to describe why Black Americans are inferior.
I feel like no hate to Americans. Like, I have a lot of American friends, and I love, you feel me, my American friends. But it's some Americans, like, I don't know if it's because of the fact that y'all, like, the white man, like, basically erased y'all culture. Like, y'all don't really have any culture. And
And this is something that we as Black Americans have been hearing our whole lives. We have no culture. And there are a lot of Black Americans who still believe that because it's so close in front of them, they don't see it. But podcasting, just the art of podcasting, filling in the lane that Americans, Black Americans, trailblaze.
The very fact that Caribbeans, we have something, although we're all the same color, we have something that divides us, which is our culture. And I feel like y'all don't like that.
And you know the funny part about it is I've always respected Caribbean culture. First of all, there is no Caribbean culture. They all have different cultures. The Trinidadians have a different culture than Jamaicans. Jamaicans have a different culture than can be Cubans. Cubans have a different culture than people from Turks and Caicos. Turks and Caicos, they all have different cultures. Okay? Now, they do share a common bond of being from the Caribbean. They do. Brought from Africa, placed in the Caribbean. Because let me tell you something right now. If I try to attribute the steel drum to Jamaica and someone from Trinidad and Tobago's in the room, they will shoot my black ass. No, steel drum ain't Jamaican. The people from Trinidad, Jamaicans got it from the Trinidadians. You dig what I'm saying? And the culture of your island is more so dictated by the group that conquered you last. I say conquered you last, not first, because Jamaica was first conquered by the Spanish, but it was last conquered by the British, so they have a more British-style culture. Haitians have a French culture. Dominicans have a Spanish culture. And within the European culture that conquered them, they have their own subcultures that are unique to within their own black experience made it that way. So all this tribalism bullshit is intentionally placed on people. People are intentionally miseducated. Nobody is told who they really are. People from the Caribbean, they're not told the truth who they really are. People from Africa. See, niggas be thinking just because people from Africa, they know who they are. Nigga, let me tell y'all something, brother. Jazz is older than Nigeria. Let me say that again. Jazz is older than Nigeria. When Nigeria was conquered, do you think the conquering people that conquered Nigeria, Gambia, Namibia, Mali, South Africa, Tanzania, do you think it was never officially conquered? Who controls their education? Nobody knows who they are. That's not just black people. I'll go so far as to say black Americans probably know more about who we are than a lot of people across the diaspora. Yes, I'm going to make that bold proclamation. Because most of us, the minute we crack open them books, you're going to find to go back at least to the 1800s. I'll go back to 1660 document. Hell, addresses in Middle Essex, England from 1520, nigga. And not everybody from England was white. Read Ancient and Modern Brits. Read that, especially you Jamaicans. A lot of you Jamaicans better read Ancient and Modern Brits. See, the reason why British culture and Jamaica fuses so well together, because a lot of your Jamaicans, they were kicked out from England. A lot of them weren't sent to. So a lot of them did come from Africa, but a lot of your Jamaicans came from England. Look that up. In the 1500s. Just like a lot of your people from Hispaniola came from Spain. When the Ladinos were kicked out of, when the Moors are being expelled from Spain and Portugal, what's now known as the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico, a lot of your Jewish blacks, they were called Ladinos. Ladino. Look it up. So we just got to know that in the last 500 years, this whole planet has been reshuffled. This ain't something that's black people. We've been going around carrying this goddamn jacket on us for no fucking reason. Ask some of these people who their grandmama is, who their grandmama is, and what's her address. Who your great granddaddy? Where was he born? What hospital did your great granddaddy die in? Or what was the address of the home he was living in when your great granddaddy passed away? Watch that one, but let me see. What's up, Hassan? You just sent me a text. My man Hassan just sent me a text saying my stream keep going in and out. Yeah, I know, brother, man. Yeah, I'm dealing with some goddamn technical issues with my computer. I don't know what the fuck going on. But I wanted to let me go to my mentions. Notifications, because it was that I want to play that other video. It was in my mentions. Let me see. Here it is. Here, I want y'all to listen to this.
If you ever get it.
This is why it's a problem.
I don't care about your reparations. Listen, I don't care if you ever get it. As a matter of fact, I'm advocating against it because it's going to fuck up my dollar and make inflation go out of control. And so I don't want them to pay you. I don't want you to have nothing. Don't give these motherfuckers nothing. As a matter of fact, not only do I not want you to get nothing from reparations.
There we go. It's that kind of bullshit that pisses us off. And like, why? Where'd that come from, man? What we do to you? Did you get called an African booty scratcher in elementary? You haven't gotten over it? What we do to you, man? Why do we got to deal with that shit as black Americans? See, here's another reason why we're so tired. We've dealt with this before. We had to deal with this before. We tried the let's all come together under one banner with other groups before. We've done that a lot. We did it in the 1890s. Look it up. It's the Populist Party of the 1892 election. A lot of things. There's a lot of headway being made in America in the 1890s through the Populist Party, later known, rebranded the Popular Party. But the Populist Party was about poor white people, or poor black people, and poor ethnics coming together because the government was screwing us all. And a lot of people got elected on a populist ticket, the 1890s. And all it took was for the government to come in and say, okay, shit, this populist thing is working. Let's give these people that we can now reclassify as white. Let's give them a few more benefits. And what we saw was them same white folks that we thought was on our team, by the time we get to 1898, you get black people elected on a populist ticket in Wilmington, Delaware, only for the whole government to get ransacked and overrun. All the black people run out of town. All the black government officials run out of town by them same white folks, because the Populist Party elected these black people over a popular agenda. And we saw them same white people that were not classified as white. They were classified as ethnics in whatever race, whatever European country they came from. They were coming together so-called as our friends. And then they screwed us over, turned on us, run us out of Wilmington, Delaware. To the point to where by the time we get to the 1915, the Woodrow Wilson, black people, we did the same thing with Woodrow Wilson that we did with Joe Biden. Woodrow Wilson was supposed to be the one that was going to, balance things out racially. He was supposed to give us some Teddy Roosevelt took some things from us. Woodrow Wilson was supposed to give it back. And not only did he not give it back, Woodrow Wilson, who ran on a ticket of bringing all these poor whites and poor blacks together, he not only didn't give us what we gave back, Woodrow Wilson de-integrated the government. See, black people could work government jobs before Woodrow Wilson. Woodrow Wilson said, no, black people can't work these government jobs. And Woodrow Wilson made it to where black people could not supervise white people. In the 1910s, black people were in some supervisory positions over white people. The Woodrow Wilson administration took that away and played black against white. Then they screened a movie called Birth of a Nation in 1916. And Birth of a Nation rehashed black and white tensions in America. You dig? We went through this in the 1600s with Bacon's Rebellion, when blacks and whites were coming together in the 16 and held the government hostage for a long time, for a few years actually. The Continental Congress messed up business for a while until they decided, let's start using this thing called whiteness and play white against black. The Bacon's Rebellion ended because people that didn't look like us, that we thought we had common cause with, new people to the country. Here in America, we go into what's now known as like Little Tokyo, was just north of downtown. When you get up there, like what's now known as Cesar Chavez Boulevard, where the 101 freeway is, in the Little Tokyo area, and then below the 101, 6th Street and Spring, 6th a little further down, like 1st and Spring, that whole area, that was a black town because during the internment camp, a lot of black people moved in those homes when Japanese people were, because black people were already in the area. They started moving into those areas, and black people were when World War II hit. Mind you, let's not forget, the reason why the Japanese were put in internment camps was because their country struck America. We cannot have that false equivalency like the Japanese were treated just as bad as black people. No. Black people didn't do shit to America. We built this country. Japan decided to bomb America. Japan decided to bomb Pearl Harbor and to bomb off the coast of California. People forget. There's a Japanese warhead that hit off the coast of Santa Barbara. Japan did touch California. So because we were in wartime scenario, the people of Japanese descent were put in internment camps. And black people moved into those shops, took over those shops, and we held those neighborhoods down. And when the Japanese were released, do you know that here in Los Angeles, a lot of black businesses that were established in that area were literally taken from black people and given back to Japanese? We didn't attack this country. A lot of black people who were friends with Japanese people who were in those internment camps, and you can look this up. I will pull the article up, but my computer keeps freezing. The article is about 10 years old now in the LA Times, but you can look it up in the archives. A lot of black people moved into those Japanese homes, and they took care of those homes. And when those Japanese people came back, they gave them their homes back. See, a lot of those Japanese people, the white people kept the homes. I look at the Crenshaw district. My parents moved into a house off Rodeo Road in Crenshaw, and they bought it from a Japanese lady from Okinawa. The Crenshaw district in the 80s and the 70s was a lot of Japanese people. Adams and Crenshaw, Crenshaw, Jefferson, everything like west of Crenshaw. East of Crenshaw was a lot black, but west of Crenshaw was a lot of people from Okinawa, Japan. And when they got their reparations in the late 80s, a lot of them started moving out into other areas. But there was a code of conduct. When my mom bought that house, my dad bought that house, there was the Japanese lady they bought it from. They said, the Japanese people were, you know what I mean? That generation of Japanese people, the ones who survived the internment camps, their kids wasn't shit. But the generation that survived the internment camps, they had a reciprocal bond with black Americans in the Crenshaw district specifically. My next door neighbor, Dorothy, she was from Okinawa. When I was teaching myself how to play the drums as a 13-year-old, I used to play in my parents' garage. And my mom used to always, Dorothy, I'm sorry, my son is so loud. And Dorothy would always be like, you know what? I'm just happy to see Dewan be so constructive. And Dorothy would never complain about me playing basketball at night. Every time my basketball would bounce over her fence, she'd throw it out there and throw it. I had beautiful Japanese neighbors. My other Japanese neighbor, George, was 2 doors down. George used to bring us flowers every Friday. George owned a flower shop. And every Friday when he got home from work, about 7 or 8 o'clock, George was going to be, I'll never forget, because he would always come while either the Lakers were playing, because my dad would kick us off the TV when the Lakers were playing, or Video Soul. Usually is when we be watching Donnie Simpson Video Soul, we get a knock on the door. Oh, hi, George. And for 12, what I'm saying is, even when it's been good, the children has been some ungrateful bastards, and they shit on black people. And every time we look up, when we think we had a friend, we get shitted on. And now, what makes this double insulting is it's happening by people who share our same skin tone. We fought for you to get here. We openly accepted you. And that kind of talk is utter betrayal. Utter betrayal. So right now we have an identity crisis going on. You have black Americans, you have people that wear our skin tone around the diaspora who's getting the message. And then you have those who aren't getting the message, like Amber Rose. And what we're starting to see is they're starting to check each other. You're starting to see the so-called Afro-Latino step up and be proud and be bold. You're starting to see people step up and check each other. And that's a good thing, because ultimately, we are all going to need to come together. Ultimately, there will need to be, Pan-Africanism has to work, ultimately, but it can't work right now. It's not working right now because two people are too confused. People don't really know who they are. This is a time when people got to find out and discover who we really are. The people of the Caribbean got to get their culture in check from the different islands. Get y'all shit together. People from the African diaspora got to get their shit together, reorganize their history. Because like I said, for the last 500 years, we've all been reshuffled. All of us, including the whiteys. There's been a major reshuffling of the deck over the last 500 years. So now people must find out who they are. And through finding out who you are, and as everyone finds out and understands who they are, we could all come and band together as one. But as long as people have cultural insecurities, they're going to do things like say, hey, they wish they was us. Black people in America don't have no culture. That's what you project when you don't understand your own culture. You dig? And y'all know my Black American Music Family Tree is on sale this month. DewanB.com, 10% off. Everything related to the Black American Music Family Tree. Because Black Americans, we got culture. Longer than that. But the so-called slave trade ended in 1808. We have been consistently here, and we have developed a consistent cultural continuity. So we must keep celebrating that. And I would like to talk to y'all longer, but this shit keep freezing and it's pissing me off. And I got to do Earthquakes show. I got to do Quake's House. I'm going to be on Earthquakes radio show a little bit later on. Doing Quake's House. But yeah, so I want to talk about that. And I might come back live and talk about it on my phone later on. We'll see. Now, after I'm done with Quake's House, nigga, I'll probably be all talked out. I don't know. Or if I'm not, I'll come back to you and talk to y'all later from my phone. But let these wars happen. They're necessary. People are just trying to figure it out. And as people try to figure it out, don't take things too personal. You get to know yourself, love yourself. All right? Okay? Understand that fighting is necessary. It's part of it. Because we've been confused. So since there's so much confusion, people are going to tell confused stories. And as they speak on their confusion, you got those of us who read and pay attention that are going to be here to clear up the confusion. We didn't get in this in one generation. We're not going to get out of it in one generation. But I guarantee you this, it'll take less generations to get out of than it took for us to get into this situation. That I can almost promise. So just because you don't see things, all right? Appreciate y'all if it's done freezing. Okay, there we go. That's the last time this bitch is about to freeze because I'm about to be out. I appreciate y'all for listening. All right. And remember, there are no perfect messengers. Only perfect messages for those willing to pick up the game. My name is Dewan. We out.